The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and SportsCenter. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hilary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It's Rod Eccles.
And a good Tuesday morning to you, one and all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, coming to you live this morning, this Tuesday, August number 1 in the year of our Lord 2017. Yes, that means it's the last full month of summer in the northern climes. Those of you down in the southern climes will no doubt have extended summer through September, possibly through October. Well, if you're in Texas, September is still pretty damn hot. So, yeah, last year when I was in McAllen, at the end of September, 95 to 100 degrees with like 60, 70, 80% humidity. That was insane. I wouldn't mind going back there, though. It was a fun town. McAllen, Texas was a fun town. Anyway, 603-835-3226 is the call-in number should you wish to join me here live. I understand arid places like Arizona and New Mexico are also fun, but you don't want to go at this time of year, I suppose, because it's too hot. I love when people tell me, well, it's 100 degrees, yeah, but it's a dry heat, Rod. Dry heat. It's not the same. Yeah, you know what? Cooking on your stove is dry heat too, but what? The egg still gets fried, does it not? It's just damn hot. I don't care how you put it. I don't know how human beings adapt and survive to climates like that. Because obviously we've evolved and developed into such a type of society where you can't run around nude. See, in the winter, at least you can bundle up and you can heat yourself up. But in the summertime, when it gets too hot, you can, you can only take. Well, I suppose you can dress down to almost nothing. Have you seen some of the bathing suits lately? Now it's kind of guys. Well, guys still they're a bunch of if you're of the European bent, you don't have to be European. Just if you're of the European bent, you tend to wear these really skimpy Speedo. Is it my imagination, or is it? Are the guys' swim trunks and thongy thong things in the Olympics getting skimpier? I thought I saw an article not too long ago where the British diver Tom Daley was actually helping to design male swimwear for the Olympics because it was getting too skimpy. Now, didn't Tom Daly come out as being gay? I thought gay people wanted the skimpier the better. Well, evidently he has some modesty. There is no modesty in those things. It's almost embarrassing to watch. Tell you the truth. Oh, I'm serious. Pay attention in the next Summer Olympics. You see the swimmers and the divers. Any male sport in the pool. Those guys aren't wearing anything. Who decided that was the way you had to? Well, I guess. Well, isn't it said that the ancient Greeks performed? Competed in the nude too. So I guess that's as close as they can get to being nude without actually being nude, I suppose. But kind of I wouldn't wear those things. Sorry, I'm not wearing those things. It's just not going to happen. But in any case, yeah, there goes our emergency personnel again. It's just why there's nobody on the road this morning, so why they have to be so loud with it. Oh, we're coming by. Anyway, 603-835-3226. We have a bunch of stuff here in the paper pile that we have to go through. Have you noticed, is it just me? By the way, I'm sorry, I didn't finish my thought. Is it just me, or is it true that the Olympics outerwear, as it were, in certain sports is getting skimpier? Same with the females. They seem to be getting skimpier. Is that in order to keep things allow them to go faster? I thought having a full wetsuit, like those new like, what do they call them? Sealskins? I thought that was supposed to help you go faster, reduce drag. But instead, these guys, even the guys, they shave everything. So, some of the swimmers even shave their heads, but they pretty much shave everything because hair is has drag to it. So that's why I would think they'd be wearing these seal suits. I think that's what they call them. Well, he wore what's his name? The Olympic swimmer. Oh Jesus, no, I can't think of his name. Anyway, he went swimming with sharks recently on Shark Week. He was wearing a seal suit. Well, what I think that they call seal suits. I'm not into dive. I would love to learn how to scuba and be certified, but I haven't done it yet. One of these days. It's on my bucket list. Yeah, Mike Phelps. Thank you. Yeah, he was swimming with the sharks. They had a very, very bad program on Shark Week. Phelps racing a shark. Yeah, it was a stupid gimmick. Didn't work out very well. I guess it kind of bombed for Discovery. But by the way, Discovery is buying up some stations, so you may see a change in the look of some of your favorite stations out there. The Scripps chain of cable networks like Food Network, HGTV, are being bought up by the Discovery Network, which includes obviously Discovery and Learning Channel, things like that. So maybe HGTV may start looking more like Discovery. I guess I don't know. I mean, good for them. It doesn't mean anything to me because I don't watch most of those channels that are being. Well, occasionally I'll watch the Food Network. I only catch HGTV when I'm visiting my mother because that's her favorite network, basically. So she always has it on. A lot, the Learning Channel. I don't watch a lot of that. I guess I watch some Discovery stuff, but yeah, DIY Network I think is in there somewhere. I don't know. I don't watch those either. I don't watch a lot of cable. Well, I don't watch. It's because it's worthless. There's nothing on. When I do end up watching it, I'm watching reruns of things like Last Man Standing and Criminal Minds. Yeah, I won't watch a new episode on network TV of Criminal Minds, but I'll catch it in reruns. Just saying. I know I'm strange that way. any case, speaking of strange, there is a young man going. Now, folks, this is just going to show why you should not be sending your kids to college. Now, there's this gray, blue-eyed Puerto Rican. Oh, he's a handsome kid, but he's not just Puerto Rican. The problem with this guy is he's a freshman at Evergreen College, and his ethnicity is that of Puerto Rican, Native American, and Caucasian. And his name is Kai Ave, Kai-Ave, Douvia, D-O-U-V-I-A. And now Kai Ave or Kai Ave, I haven't heard him pronounce his name. He's in a little predicament at Evergreen State College. Now, why is he in a predicament? Because he's been told that he is some sort of race traitor. Now, I don't know if he's being a traitor to his. Well, when I first started reading the story, I didn't realize. Race traitor. Okay, well, he's Puerto Rican, Native American, and white. So it's okay to be a traitor to his white part of himself. So he wasn't being a race traitor then. Native Americans tend to stay out of this whole racial divide in the first place. It's not that they stay out of it, but they don't make it a big priority unless it has to do with money. They figure just live and let live. So the only thing left would be the Puerto Rican part of him. He must be a race traitor on his Puerto Rican side. Now, I don't know how you can be a race traitor when you're so mixed up. It's like myself. I don't know how I could. How am I? Is he supposed to deny his white side and his white heritage simply because he's Puerto Rican too? I don't know. Well, yeah, I do know. I mean, that is the case, but I don't know why they would think that somebody has to do that. Because whites are so evil? I mean, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So let's just say that it's happened before. Remember when Tiger Woods was just coming onto the pro circuit of the PGA, pro golfers, whatever, and the African American community was claiming him as their own. Yeah, he's black. Well, no, I do believe his mom is Japanese, right? So Japanese or Korean, one of the two. And so he's Asian, half Asian. And they were all, arguing that no, he's not. He was just black. He was African American. No, his mom is 100% Asian. That makes him 50%, considering his dad is 100% African American. Whatever that means, and I've discussed that before in this program. What is it to be African American? There are very few African Americans here that are 100% African. So he's half African American and half Asian. In other words, he's the epitome of what the term Blasian is, like the model Tyson Bigford. Again, another one. He was half black, half Asian. Dad was black, mom was Asian. So Blasian. Tyson Bigford also was considered to be just African American. And Tyson Bigford said, no, I'm not just black. Well, yeah, you are. If you don't say you are, you're a traitor to the race. So you're not supposed to be a traitor to the Latino race, and you're not supposed to be a traitor to the African American race, but you can be a traitor to every other race? You can deny half of you, and that's okay? No, I'm not down with that. Well, here we have this kid, Kai Ave Douvia. It says he doesn't believe race should be the most important factor in a person's identity. Now, Douvia, who is a mix of Puerto Rican, Native American, and white, was threatened and confronted on campus by other students after he questioned the identity politics he saw being posted online. In an interview with former Evergreen student Benjamin Boyce, Duvia says, "I've never put race ahead of anything." Speaking of his family, he adds, "At no point has it ever been a defining part of us." But the freshman discovered things are very different at Evergreen State College. He explained that they expect me to act a certain way because of my race. Now, Duvia irritated far-left students on campus when he took the text of an online request to start a class dominated by people of color and replace that phrase with the word white. His point was to suggest that dividing everyone by race seems wrong to him, so upset students responded with over 300 comments, prompting the school to announce a Talk with the President session with college president George Briggs. So in other words, it was the class was described, it was dominated by people of color, but he replaced the word color with the word white, and they flipped out. Evidently, that's the case. Well, that's true. You do that. You know, request to take have a class. Well, just try instead of Black History Month. Why don't you try saying we should celebrate White History Month, and watch the left literally flip out on you, and they'll use every excuse in the book of why that's racist. Black History Month is not racist, but White History Month is. So you can be proud to be black, but you cannot and should not and will not be proud to be white, because you're a racist, bigoted, homophobic, slave-owning a-hole if you're white. Even if you if you descend from a country that never had slaves, didn't want slaves, and even if your family tree does not show you've ever owned slaves, you're still a slave-holding, slave-owning, white supremacist, superioristic thinking, idiotic, white, homophobic, bigoted, racist white person. So you do not deserve to have your own month of history. I'm not making this stuff up. Go ahead and try it sometime. Replace the word black or with any brown skin race of people with the word white, and they will come down on you like a tub of iron sledgehammers. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L-Rod, here on The Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shade brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hand. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around while primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Avon Shade gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
Six 603-835-3226. That is the number to call should you wish to join me here live here on The Rod Eccles Show. I am, of course, your ever-lovable mixed-race host of the program. I don't know how else to put it. Yeah, I don't even mark those stupid things on forums. Because it gets to the point where it's insulting. Because it's well, some of the forums I have noticed, maybe they may be some government forums. It says mixed race. Okay, I may check that one, but it usually it gives a short list of so-called races, and then if you don't fit any of those categories, it's other. Excuse me, but I'm not an other. So I don't mark it. I even had a potential employer ask me well, you didn't mark it. I said, yeah, I know I didn't mark it down. I crossed it all out for a reason, because it's irrelevant. I have never tried to get ahead anywhere or try to get a job simply because I don't even know what I appear like. I mean, there are a bunch of people that think I'm Puerto Rican or Dominican. So, and there are people that are shocked when I explain to them that I'm not. As far as I know, there is no España in my family lineage. I don't know, there may be going way, way back, but as far as any of it being in my system at the moment, there isn't any. Not that I know of. I mean, not that it would be a bad thing. It'd be kind of cool to be related to Antonio Banderas. Yeah, I got a man crush on Antonio Banderas. I think I just like saying his name, Antonio Banderas. No more chit-chat. Something about the Spaniard and the way they speak. They sound pretty damn cool. No, not the Puerto Rican but the real Spaniard. I have a Puerto Rican friend who says, well, he's not Spanish at all. Like, well, you do realize that's basically, well, yeah, you're a mix. You're a Heinz 57 pretty much, but your basis or your base race is Spaniard. And he's like, I'm not Spanish. So they have beating his chest. I'm Puerto Rican. Well, that's a Spanish base. I'm not Spanish. Not that he doesn't like being or wouldn't like being Spanish. He's been to Spain on vacation 3 times, but he's not Spanish. Anyway, and his name is Juan. Just saying, yeah. He's not Spanish, but his name is Juan, and he's been to Spain on vacation with his family 3 times. Any case, he didn't go to Puerto Rico for vacation. He was born in New York City, and he's never been to Puerto Rico. So where does he go on vacation? Not Puerto Rico. He goes to Spain 3 times. I don't get no, he's not self-loathing and self-hating. If you ever been to his house, you'd understand that he's a proud Puerto Rican man, let me tell you. But yeah, so that's the other thing. You get all these people to talk about self-loathing this and self-loathing that, just because you don't have the same groupthink that they have. And usually the same groupthink doesn't even come from your fellow, like blacks or something. It's usually coming from another race, like liberal white people trying to push you in a corner again.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
And there you go, a little Spanish guitar to bring us back into the show. 603-835-3226. Something kind of anything was that's influence has a Spanish influence in the music is so filled with passion and emotion, as they would say, as I picture Antonio Banderas would say it, as passion and emotion. Our dancing shows our emotions on our shoes and on our feet and on our legs. And anyway, back to this young man, Kai. Isn't Kai is that an Asian name? So he's a Puerto Rican Native American white person with an Asian name. I don't. Just saying. In any case. He also faced now Duvia also faced a backlash in the real world. He said, "I had people threatening to beat me up." Because you're getting off the plantation there, Kai. Don't you know? You're moving outside of the dictated norms of what a Puerto Rican is supposed to act like and what a Native American is supposed. I guess because you're Native American. As well, it doesn't break it down to what tribe he's from, but I'm guessing you should probably probably dress more Native American or have go to powwows and stuff like that. I've actually had people ask me that. And I'm part Cherokee and I can actually prove it. Oh, do you go to powwows? I have been to a few powwows in my day, but what does that got to do with being this? But this is from stupid white people. Well, now in most cases, people are pretty innocent. They haven't been taught how to act and react to people who are different from them. In other words, they haven't been taught that people are just people. You don't have to treat them any differently. And to try to ingratiate yourself by saying something that's stupid really just makes you look like a fool and an idiot. But they think because everybody, now I find this all the time, and this is just sad. And this is, because I'm sorry, but white people just can't seem to win. They can't catch a break. So if they don't acknowledge that you are of a different race other than white, they're racist. If they do acknowledge that you are of a different race other than white, they're racist. So why I kind of feel for white people because they're in this position that they can't win, but they don't want to be construed as being a racist, so they'll take the avenue, no matter how stupid it sounds. They'll take the road that makes them sound less like a racist than another road. What they think is to be the case. I mean, there have been people that have said, I thought, well, geez, this is it really proves that white people can't win. So my ex-wife was a racist because she was married to me. She's white. Swedish English descent. But if she didn't marry me, she would have been racist. Well, wait a minute. So in other words, she can't win. I've even members of my own extended family. Well, she must be racist. What? How can she be racist? Because she divorced you. Yeah, we had problems. I don't think race was one of them. So it's kind of like this whole thing about Barack Hussein Obama. If you don't vote for Obama, you're a racist. Well, a bunch of American white people didn't want to be construed as being racist. Well, I'll show you I'm not racist. I'll vote for him. Well, you only voted for him because he was black. Well, you told me if I didn't vote for him, it was because he was black. And now if I do vote for him, and I did, it's because he was black. And then the same thing came back up again in the re-election. Well, if you don't re-elect him, you're racist. But he's doing a terrible job. That doesn't matter. You're not going to vote for him simply because he's black. Well, we'll vote for him again. You're only voting for him because he's black. Because you told me if I didn't, it was because he's black. So you can't win this stuff. I don't even know why white people even try. You can't win. You shouldn't even try. But the problem comes in is when you have a bunch of liberal whites, not just, liberal brown people, but liberal whites who expect you to act in a particular way. And when you don't, you are somehow self-loathing, self-hating, and a traitor to your race. So if I don't speak in an urban dialect and accent, somehow I think I'm better than anybody else who's black, African American. Really? No, it's not how I was raised. I got an education. Thank you very much. I don't want to sound like a fool. Just because my diction is on point doesn't mean I'm self-loathing. It's as if, yeah. But, we sort of perpetrate this too. I mean, how many people have ever seen Eddie Murphy back in his heyday? I've seen Eddie Murphy in concert. And he would make fun of white-sounding black people. He did. Always say they sort of talk like this, and they used big words that nobody else could really understand unless you were really, really, really educated. Now, that may have been funny, but he was pointing out something that look, I've just, personal experience. I've had people, tell me, well, I didn't know you were black. Well, yeah, it didn't sort of come up in, polite conversation on the phone, I guess. What am I supposed to do? Just, hey, by the way, you're talking to a black guy. Just so you know. I don't sound it, but I am. Really? And then I've had people get mad at that. There were some people that were mad at me. Not black people either. I've had some white people get mad at me because of my tagline. The coolest, most politically incorrect conservative black man on the planet. You shouldn't say that. You should just say American. Why? Why? Because I don't know. They make it sound like I'm purposely trying to fool people. So I understand where this poor kid is coming from. He can't win no matter what. But see, this is why you shouldn't send your kids over to any of these. Colleges in this country should be failing left and right. Why? Because one, they're not really teaching in most areas, most disciplines. They're not really teaching kids anything. Their degrees are pretty damn useless. The cost of an education is through the roof. It's not worth it in the end for most degrees. I'm just saying. Not to mention, there are a lot of blue-collar jobs that pay more out. I mean, you go to trade school for 2 years, and you're earning more than somebody who went to school for 4 or 6 years and spent $200,000 or more. I'm talking about blue-collar jobs. carpenters, electricians, plumbers, welders, iron workers. These guys are getting, they're starting out at $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, getting into the six figures within 10 years. It's happening right now. And yet, if you tell a person, a parent, well, maybe your kid should look into a trade school. My kid's too smart for trade. Do you think tradespeople are stupid? Do you think? Have you ever been on a construction site? Have you ever seen real blueprints? Have you ever seen construction people, especially carpenters and iron workers and welders, use math to settle all kinds of engineering problems? I mean, they're the ones that, sure, you got an architect over there who went to school. He designed the damn building, but he's not building it. And half the time, when they start building, they realize that there's problems. Who realizes that there are a problem? The construction guys. The idiots. The ones that don't have an formal 4-year or 6-year education. Do you realize that all you liberals out there going to going to your office buildings, in your high-rise towers and where you live, that the construction that was done on your building, 98% of it was done by non-college educated men and women. Really? But that's not possible. But it was designed by a college-educated guy. Yeah, the architect is college-educated. That's a useful degree to have in architecture, sure. That kind of engineering is necessary. You need to learn that kind of stuff. No doubt. But they're not the ones building it. The guys in the ground erecting the wood and the steel and then from the wood and the steel, digging the hole in the ground to putting the roof on, to actually painting it and putting in the windows. Most of those people don't have a college education. Not a formal one. They have the equivalent of one, but they don't have a formal one. And I bet you a lot of those guys on those, if you go into New York City or at least in this country, you go to any construction site where they're building a tower, a skyscraper, and I bet you most of those guys running around on that steel up there is probably earning more than you are. So how are we all supposed to act again? Are we supposed to be pigeonholed because that's the way the left wants to see us? So doesn't that mean that you're a racist if you think that a black person is only supposed to act a certain way, and a Latino is only supposed to act a certain way, and a Native American is only supposed to act a certain way? Doesn't that make you the racist? Instead of allowing people to be people? I would think so. Because you put me, you leftist idiot, you leftist, racist, bigoted, fascist a-hole. You're the one that's putting these people, including this kid, Kai, you're the one pigeonholing him. He's not pigeonholing himself. It might not even be considered in his family. Isn't that funny? There are a lot of ethnic people that don't even really think of themselves as being ethnic until somebody else, usually a liberal white person, reminds them that they're ethnic. They have an ethnicity that is different from other white people. It's usually a liberal white person that reminds me of this. I just look at him and say, I have mirrors in my house, mirror in my bathroom. I comb my hair, and I realize I'm not pale. It does not. It doesn't affect me one way or the other on a daily basis. The only time I actually think about it is when I'm talking to some idiot like you. Now, this really got pretty bad because he had evidently had people calling him a fragile white boy. He's a fragile white boy? I thought he wasn't supposed to be white since he was, Puerto Rican and Native American. But yeah, but he's also part white. So doesn't look white, actually. Picture of him here. That's how I knew he's got these like gray blue eyes. Kind of looks Latino. Actually, he does look like he's a mix. You can tell there's Native American in him. In any case, so they're yelling in his face, "Are you going to stop being respectful?" and all sorts of epithets thrown his way. And there was even another student that got in his face, according to Kai. Said, "Are you going to stop being respectful?" Now, when Kai asked the student to explain what he meant by disrespectful, he just kept demanding to know if he was going to stop. Tell me how I'm being disrespectful, and then maybe we can fix it. If I don't know what the hell you're talking about, how the hell can I fix? Because they don't even know. They just lash out with their feelings, and their feelings have no meaning behind them whatsoever. So after the incident, Kai went to campus police and told them what had happened. Kai was given a no contact order and told to stay 100 feet away from any student involved in the incident, which means Kai had to avoid on-campus meetings the other students might attend. The student who yelled at him and the other people that and the people he was with when he did it were not disciplined at all. So Kai is accosted on campus. He reports it like they always tell him to do. If there's a racial incident, report it. So he reports it. He's the one that gets slapped with a restraining order, basically. Anybody see something wrong with this picture here? So you have a Latino, a Puerto Rican, Native American, white mixed race kid trying to get an education at Evergreen State College. He makes the mistake of saying, race really shouldn't be a problem here. It shouldn't be an issue. He gets confronted by some belligerent white liberal students. They threaten him to do physical harm to him. He reports it to the campus police. The campus police punish him for doing so. You can't make this shit up.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came, defeat the would-be dictators, and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
Zero 835-3226. Welcome back. Yes, indeed. A little bit of a mood shift there. There is a, I don't know how this could possibly work, but there's this article there's a piece by John Sexton in Hot Air, asking the question, or I should say asking the question. Let me ask you a question. Is this the future? Capitalism for the brightest and socialism for everyone else. So he starts out by saying, Vox published an interesting interview Sunday with Eric Weinstein. Now, Weinstein, I don't know why it's pronounced Weinstein when it's spelled exactly the same way, so shouldn't it be Weinstein? Anyway, Weinstein is a managing director of Peter Thiel's investment firm and is also the brother of Evergreen State College professor Brett Weinstein. The interview is about the future of capitalism, and Vox has titled it, Why Capitalism Can't Survive Without Socialism. And it goes on to say that it can't survive without socialism because capitalism is eliminating all the lower repetitive types of factory jobs that help build this country and the middle class, never to return. That's what they're saying here. So there's going to be some sort of need for some sort of socialism to help the lower ranks. The high school graduates, that's all they have. That's all they are, high school graduates. Oh, so are we going to have robots doing repetitive work, building your next house or, a 50-story skyscraper? Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think that there'll be a lot of things that robots will do to replace man, but there'll be a lot of things that man will just prefer to do himself. So there'll be other jobs available. And some will be required that you have a vast extended education, and some you won't. There will still not be a need for socialism at all.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It's Rod Eccles.
Welcome back, hour number 2 here on the Rod Eccles Show. Welcome to all you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites. It is I, your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live this Tuesday morning, which is now August number 1 in the year of our Lord 2017. Yes, indeed, the first day of August, the days of August. This is an August day, as it were. Bright, sunny, going to be a hot one, I guess, today here in the northern. Well, just like August is supposed to be. Maybe I'll just break off from work today for once and just go to the beach. Haven't done that in a while. Just go to the beach in the middle of the week when nobody's around. Usually kind of fun. Well, you don't go to in here you don't go to the Hampton Beach area. You got to go up into Maine, and you have to avoid most beaches in Massachusetts and the like. Because they're full of tourists. Tourist. You don't want tourist place. I've been to tourist places during the tourist season on a tourist weekend. It's a nut house. I avoid places like Hampton Beach, New Hampshire between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Because that's when it's just crazy. But you can go to some places. You go up the coast in Maine a little bit. You go to past Long Sands Beach. You go up into places like Algonquin and Rye in Maine, and those are a little bit quieter. Although Algonquin is a touristy seaside resort, but it's usually not too bad during the weekdays. It's usually worse on the weekends. And probably because the water is just too damn cold to get into. It really is. It's extremely. for human beings, it's cold water. I mean, it's freezing. And it's kind of if you are, it's not quite as cold as some of the Great Lakes, like Lake Superior. You know, the Great Lake Gitchagumi. The natives call it Lake Gitchagumi. I don't think that lake ever gets above 60 degrees. I mean, it's in the 50s a lot. It's freezing. There aren't many beaches. There in northern Michigan and Minnesota, there aren't many beaches. Why? Because Lake Superior is too damn cold to go swimming in. That's why. And that's pretty much the same case with a lot of northern New England beaches. You know, you get into New Hampshire, you get Hampton Beach and Rye Beach in New Hampshire. And the water's a bit warmer, which is why it's also a lot more crowded. But you get up into Maine, and the beaches start to thin out because the water is just too damn cold. You get all that wonderful, North Atlantic water coming in, and it hasn't had a chance to warm up yet. There aren't many beaches in Canada, are there? Again, because it's too damn cold. Not the temperature, but the air temperature, but the water. Can you see anybody? Are there any beaches on Hudson's Bay? I mean, seriously. Canadians have to fly south of their border in order to get to some warm water, in order to swim. But yeah, so you gotta. It's just. I don't think there are many beaches in Oregon or Washington State either. Any beaches in Alaska? Just saying. Just pointing out the obvious. And this is true just about in anywhere where the beach or the potential beach would be in the northernmost part of the globe, because the water hasn't had time to move south to warm up. So, you know, there are some. Do you ever see pictures of beaches in Japan? You don't, do you? I never really thought about that, but I don't see beaches in like the Korean Peninsula or North Korea. The beaches are usually filled with outdated tanks, like Kim Jong-un is. I got some stuff on him this morning too. He's trying to show off his military might with all the tanks and missile launchers that he has. But those missile launchers are more like, the Korean version of Saddam Hussein's Scuds. Remember those? Yeah. Not saying that that Kim Jong-un hasn't obviously improved upon the Scud missile, because he has. And now we have, you have some people in Washington that are now saying that up to half the country is now exposed to Kim Jong-un. And he's not going to stop until he can expose the entire world to his missiles. So, if you can get missiles to fly 15, 20,000 miles, that puts anybody, just about anybody, within his. And this is what a lot of people are missing out on when it comes to Kim Jong-un. When it comes to Iran, these people getting the missile technology, and this is where I don't. Maybe China just thinks that if Kim Jong-un were to ever turn on them, they would just crush them. But not before. Now, you got to remember, he's got one of the world's largest standing armies. Now, they may not have a lot of high tech stuff, but they still got a lot of people. So it wouldn't be a cakewalk for most first class armies to take him on. It wouldn't be that easy. Not to mention the Korean jungle, and this was always the case, which is why we had the Korean War is another study of it. If anybody who studied the Korean War could have easily have said, well, this was the precursor to Vietnam as far as the way we were going to fight wars. not really intending to win. That was MacArthur's big, that's why MacArthur was so upset and angry. We're not playing to win here, so we're wasting our time. And then that's when we did the same thing in Vietnam. It became political. But if you're not going to go in there to win, and he's got such a large standing army, it doesn't matter if they're not high tech. If you've got, what has he got, like a 1.3 million man standing army or something, and you got 1 million soldiers firing bullet. It doesn't matter if it's a high tech bullet or a low tech bullet. A bullet is still a bullet, and a bullet will still kill you. So you got 1 million people firing bullets at you. You've got a problem. So this is why this guy is not going to be all that easy to take. And not to mention, he's just like his grandfather and his father before him. They're, paranoid, jackbooted thugs. You never know where they really are. And they've got a vast network of underground, caverns and bunkers and all that kind of stuff. Sure, we could probably, reach them with a daisy cutter or a bunker buster, but you got to know which bunker he's in. We just can't run around tossing, these bombs all over the countryside because they're expensive. You got to be able to hit your target. So, I just you have to make sure that he isn't going to be so rogue. And this is where I think Z and the Chinese, the Chi-Coms are making their mistake, is that this kid, Kim Jong-un, is not like his grandfather and his father. He's a lot more devious, a lot more. Well, he's a millennial, isn't he? If I'm not mistaken. And so now he's forced, because we had a weak president for 8 years. He's been able to do things and get away with things that now make it very difficult to put. He was let out of the box, so it now makes it very difficult to put him back in the box. And he served the Chinese, for a while, and now the Chinese are finding out that he's hard to control and put in the box. And what are they going? Well, all they can do is move their own army to the border, which they did. It's like 100,000 soldiers or whatever that moved to the Chinese North Korean border, because they're just going to try to contain him. Well, not going to be that easy. And really, those people the military is being put on the border to try to keep the U.S. and our allies from crossing over into China accidentally in case we were to attack North Korea. But frankly, I think the problem is that we missed the window. We missed the window to take this guy out a long time before Trump was even began to run. We probably missed our opportunity. Obama missed the opportunity to take this guy out probably 6 years ago. That's probably when he should have been taken out. At least 6 years ago. Maybe a little bit more, but 6 years ago. And so now we're stuck with this guy. He's going to be a rogue nation, and he's going to have nukes, and there's no way for us to stop him unless we bomb the shit out of him, which we're not going to do. Just not going to happen. So he's going to get nukes. Now the problem is that what is he going to be able to do with them once he gets them? Is he going to be able to deliver them? And if there's one thing you have to understand, never count anybody out. We had to go through that whole process of learning how to develop and develop the bomb, and then figure out a delivery system. Took us a while. Sure, it's taken them a little bit longer than it took us, but they're still human beings. They can figure it out. In all this, in this day and age, when you have the internet and everything else, all these wonderful people that say, "Oh yeah, well, we just thought they were 20 years out." I don't know how you would still think that in this day and age of free information, forget, stealing technology, forget stealing the intel on how to do this stuff. Which, Iran and North Korea have gotten plenty of stolen Western technology, sure, but forget all of that. They can connect to the internet too. And this stuff, as far as education is concerned and learning how to do this stuff, is all free for the asking if you know where to look on the internet. They can do that. So this notion that they were at any time that they were, they're 20 years away was a bogus number, folks. We were lied to. And they keep moving up the clock. You ever notice that? Oh yeah, within now that Obama has done what he did, yeah, Iran they'll have a nuke within 10 years by 2025 or something. And now we're told, well, it's probably going to be a lot more like 2020. How about they probably already have it, and they're just working on a delivery system? They don't want to. Our governments don't want to tell us that. Why? Because it would have shown that they screwed up. And who would have screwed up? Oh, Obama and people like Obama, who are still trying to stay in power in Western Europe. That's who screwed up. The one thing about military power is that you might be able to have some better technology than somebody else, but when you start getting into things that are really powerful, like daisy cutters and nuclear bombs, all that other high-tech stuff on the battlefield, it really doesn't mount to much because it still blows up just as easy as everything else.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Not all that easy to take care of, or to beat out an army that has great vast numbers. Is now even back in the day before we had rifles and cannons and things like that, having a superior number didn't always guarantee victory, did it? History is replete with stunning defeats by armies that were better trained, larger numbers, had better equipment, more advanced equipment, if you will, even swords and shields and armor and that kind of thing, and yet they still lost. Well, because it comes down to mind power. If you got a general that's an idiot, they're going to be defeated every time. Historically speaking, we've had lots of so-called military leaders that were genius tacticians that took what little firepower that they had. Now, read that as even if it was back in the day where they only had swords and shields. They took the firepower that they had and they used their wits in order to defeat. Well, let's go back to the story of the 300. King Leonidas held off huge army for a while. Because why? Because he was able to funnel that massive army into a narrow gateway. That means that the numbers didn't mean anything. So that's what it, if you have somebody who knows what they're doing, they can fend off, hold off, and possibly even defeat armies that are vastly superior to them. I can only imagine what they must have been going through at the time and thinking. I just, I know we've romanticized Leonidas and the 300 over the centuries, but the reality is that he did hold off the Persian horde. Vastly at 300. Some estimates said that there was up to 1 million men in that Persian army. I don't think it was that large back then, but some estimates have it that large. Even if it was still 10,000, and it just seemed like it was 1 million because it was 10,000 and nobody had seen an army that size before, gathered in one place. Still only 300 of them. So, this is, if you have a smart general, you can defeat. And look, I'm just telling you that I don't believe that the North Korea, now Kim Jong-un, I don't think he's as stupid as people make him out to be. Frankly, I think that boy, the little fat boy up there, is probably smarter than his father and grandfather before him. He may be crazy. He may be evil. But I think he may be smarter. Because he seems to be able to push a hell of a lot farther and a lot faster than either one of them did. Just saying. So we're the ones that had the stupid leaders, and I'm not including Trump in that, but we're the ones that put a stupid, weak, mamby-pamby leader in place for 8 years. And North Korea didn't. Iran didn't. Russia didn't. China didn't. We did. Britain did. France did. Italy did. Germany did. And now that we've actually started getting some smarter people who fully understand the way the world works, we're starting to see the stupidity that the previous leaders, immerse themselves in, which makes it harder for the smarter leaders to try to fix. There's nothing worse in life than stupidity, trying to overcome stupidity. It's always hard. Call Rod now, 606-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though
You think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. Woo! There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
Three 835-3226. Welcome back. Hey, this thing with the the Korean Peninsula is, if you actually look at it on a map, the location of the Korean Peninsula and Japan is kind of frightening. Oftentimes you fail to realize that Japan is actually that far north. Really is. I mean, it's kind of north. It's not really in the South Pacific. But with that being said, South Korea is now considering a nuclear arsenal of its own to counter the North. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. I know we don't want, a bunch of nations having a nuclear arsenal, but hey, it's pretty much inevitable once the cat was out of the bag between the USA and Russia or USSR. It's going to happen. And it means that the world becomes more dangerous because you have more rogue nations that can't typically be pressured into keeping the peace by having I don't believe Kim Jong-un really cares if half his nation gets wiped out, as long as he wipes out his enemies. That's all he cares about, what he perceives as his enemies. But South Korea is considering a nuclear arsenal. Why? Because they are no longer sure that they can rely on the United States. An increasing number of South Korean lawmakers say that their country should develop its own nuclear arsenal to deter an attack by Kim Jong-un, their wonderful neighbor to the north. And I put wonderful there. They didn't. North Korea's rapid missile advances, including successful tests of intercontinental ballistic missiles, otherwise known as ICBMs, all through July, and again, especially last Friday, are reviving calls for South Korea to assert its nuclear sovereignty. South Koreans are wary of President Donald Trump's isolationist rhetoric and his calls for Asian allies to shoulder more of the defense burden borne by the U.S. military. They're wary of President Trump, telling them that they need to shoulder more of their own defensive responsibility. These nations, a lot of these nations, because they have not had to burden themselves with a large defense budget, have been free to do all kinds of socialistic types of experiments within their governments, within their nations. The Nordic countries, I mean, there's not a lot of U.S. stuff going on up there, but they don't have to worry about having a massive military defense because of the U.S. presence in the region. In Germany, they didn't have to, if any of these countries actually had to foot their own military budget bill 100%, they wouldn't be able to afford the stuff that they're trying to do now when it comes to socialist type of stuff. I mean, why do you think Britain can't afford it? Because they do shoulder a good portion of their own defense. They have to maintain a navy. Keeping the British fleet afloat is not cheap. So Trump's America First policy has triggered this kind of public sentiment, said Moon Chung-in. That's his name, Moon Chung-in, a top national security advisor to South Korean President Moon Jae-in. Trump also has, I don't know if they're related. Could be, but I don't know. Trump also has wavered on his commitments to defending South Korea, he said, including suggesting during his campaign that South Korea and Japan should develop their own nuclear arsenals. As well, Japan can't. I don't think their constitution would allow them to do so. Because a nuclear weapon is an offensive weapon, and Japan is stuck having defensive military, which is pretty... Look, just to lighten the mood here a little bit, if you don't have offensive capabilities, that's how Godzilla can ravage your cities every single time, because all you have is defensive, not offensive. There's no way they could go on the offensive to stop Godzilla. Just saying. I know some people are saying he's just talking about something serious with the Korean Peninsula, and then he brings up Godzilla. Who is this guy? Because he can't be serious all the time. You can bring a bit of levity, even to a serious topic, by the way. Now, while President Moon, who is a liberal who took office back in May, does not support calls for South Korea to join the nuclear club, polls show that a majority of South Koreans who even voted for him favor the idea. You see, South Koreans are spoiled. They know they're spoiled to a certain degree. They can look across the border to the north and see that their family members to the north. You remember, this is one country, Korea. It divided into north and south, kind of like North and South Vietnam. But they have relatives in the north. They know that the north is ass backwards, especially compared to the south. They know this. They're not idiots. So they know that they're spoiled when it comes to this kind of thing. Look, now they're exporting. Everybody talks about how America exports its culture, like Hollywood. Anybody notice that Korea is exporting their culture now? I mean, if you ever look at things like, K-pop music for one, it's a bunch of Korean, it's Korean boy bands basically. I'm surprised there are girls in this country that know all the different popular K-pop bands. I have no idea who they are, but some of these girls around here do. And if you look at Netflix and Hulu, there is a plethora of Korean TV shows. I don't know how Korea does it, to tell you the truth, but I mean, they got a ton of shows. You could say that Seoul, Korea, is much like Hollywood here in the USA and New York. It's the entertainment capital of Asia. Even Japan doesn't have this type of pop culture influence that Korea has. Who was the guy? Oppum Gangnam Style. I mean, Korean, right? Not Japanese, Korean. Yeah, so that we kind of get it here. So they understand that they have this very vibrant lifestyle compared to the North. They don't want to be a part of the North. They wouldn't mind if the North were part of them, but they don't want to be a part of the North. Now, Kim Jong-un and his daddy before him and his granddaddy, they wanted South Korea to be a part of North Korea, not the other way around. So they wanted the whole damn peninsula to be in the dark, basically. I could never understand that with dictators. Why wouldn't you want your people to enjoy their life? Why do you got to make other people miserable? I can never understand how it is that somebody feels so much better about themselves by making their own people that they have a lot in common with, feel like ants, small, tiny, miserable. How does that make you happy, making somebody else miserable? I don't get it. But what is happening is that you have a number of countries, partly due to Trump, in a good way, are starting to say, well, you know what, we need to pony up a little bit here, because let's face it, people, if the proverbial shit were to hit the fan, probably a good 90% of our allies, as they stand today, because they have not been forced to take care of themselves, militarily speaking, would be of little to no assistance to the United States in defending them. This is why they need to be able to do this stuff on their own. They need to spend their money on their military and stop spending it on social programs and stop being liberal and socialist and depending on us, because we can't do it all. Especially in this day and age. We're vastly outnumbered. And let's face it, in a confrontation with with some of our enemies out there, we're not that vastly superior technologically speaking. We've got the most advanced military on the planet, sure, but we're not that far in advance. We used to have a devastating advantage. Not so devastating anymore. And where is it? I had this because China's. It used to be that it was figured out that we could take down 10 to 12 of their jets for every one of ours. That number has been reduced to like 6 to 1. Instead of 12 to 1, it's 6 to 1, and half. So that tells you that China's closing the technological gap. And considering that they outnumber us tremendously, what do you think? That doesn't bode well for us. See, before we could do it because we were just far superior technologically speaking than they were. It's not the case anymore. Sure, they're still not equal, but they've got the numbers that turn the tables on us now. Seriously, folks, this is the way that the world is working now. So this is why I say we're behind the 8 ball, because our allies, such as they are, they couldn't really pitch in very much or very well for their own defense. It really, you know who would be called upon once again to defend Europe if Europe was ever invaded? You know who'd be called upon to defend Europe? I don't even think Germany really is up to the task. Not saying that they're wimps or anything, but the only 2 countries that would be able to come to the defense of Europe would be Britain and the U.S. That's like it's been for a century or more. That's got to stop. France has the full ability, has the economy to fully take care of itself. Spain has the ability, if they get their economy on track, to fully defend themselves. Italy too. Germany too. Much of Europe does. Much of Western Europe. The same goes with Asia. If we let Japan defend itself, be able to defend itself with an offensive army, we should let them do it. South Korea needs to come on board. They need to beef up their own military. We can't do it all for these people. We can't do it anymore. It's too expensive, and the world war has gotten so much more efficient than it used to be. It is just more devastating. Not to mention, we just don't have the army the size that we used to have, thanks to people like Obama, that we can't be everywhere anymore. Isn't that funny? We have a nation of more people in this country than we've ever had before, but our military has not grown with it. Isn't that interesting? Thanks to a bunch of mamby-pamby, wimpy, pacifist people that we have elected and appointed in our government over the past decade. We just can't do it what we used to do anymore. And so now people like Korea are thinking, well, maybe we need to step up and develop our own. Bravo. It's about time you came around.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message. A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people, you suck.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Warning. Listening to the Rod Eccles Show by the Idiot Left may cause outrage, fear, a need for safety pins and or spaces. If you experience any of these symptoms or are allergic to truth, tune in and learn something.
I'm surprised there's not a commercial out there. The best part of waking up is coffee in your cup. There was more talk about how Trump misspelled, I guess, coffee. I don't know, Covefe, Covfefe. And there are people wearing. See, I missed the boat. Should have had a T-shirt like this. There are people running around here in central New Hampshire, Concord, Manchester, that have T-shirts. That mention the word in a positive light, the word Covefe. I should have had a bunch of Covefe T-shirts. Anybody trying to patent or trademark that word? Trump probably should. In any case, here, speaking of the North and South Korean peninsula, the U.S. Air Force, supposedly according to the sun.co.uk, U.S. Air Forces unleashes supersonic bombers in North Korea nuke drill. As it claimed Donald Trump is poised to launch military strike against the rogue state. Nuclear-capable B-1Bs were escorted by South Korean fighters over the peninsula. So I guess they've had some recent joint military exercises going on in the South with the venerable B-1B bomber. See, we do have some pretty cool stuff in our arsenal. We don't have enough of them. I might add, by the way, but we don't. We're still running the B-52 bombers. I'm sorry, that's still just a badass airplane. Just like the A-10, the A-10 Warthog, the tank killer, the Angel of Death. That's just that aircraft, when did it come online? In the early 80s? It was late 70s, early 80s. It's a 40-year-old design, 40-year-old aircraft. The B-52 bombers, what is that, a 60-year-old aircraft now? These are amazing. It's amazing that we haven't been able to come up with something better, really, to replace these. We still have them. So they're still that good. And the B-1B, well, we haven't used those very often. And the B-2, right? The stealth bomber. How many of that? We don't even have. We just have one squadron of those things because they're so damn expensive. But in any case, so Trump has got the B-1 bombers that are nuclear capable of carrying a nuclear load. Senior military sources in Washington have reported claimed Pentagon officials have laid out plans to obliterate a nuclear weapons facility operating deep within a mountain range inside of North Korea. B-1B bombers have been deployed to the Korean peninsula and are now involved in joint exercises to take out and attack certain targets within North Korea. Well, that's a good thing. I don't, it's just. I personally happen, one of my favorite aircraft out there, just putting it out there. One of my favorite airplanes I've always liked the F-106 Delta Dart. It was a small Delta wing fighter, interceptor fighter. But I've always had a special place in my heart for that aircraft. But the A-10, I've got to see those things up close. I got to put my hand on that gun, that 50 cal, that massive gun on its nose. It is it's a flying tank.
Today, there's a beer for everyone.
Hey, me and the guys are going out for beer. You want to come along? Nah, I got a lot of data to enter into the computer tonight.
Now, there's a brew for the future.
Want me to bring you something back? Thanks, but I got some right here.
Microsoft Brew.
You got a beer tap on your computer?
With a head so thick you can float a mouse on it.
Let me get this straight. You make your own beer with the computer? With the right software, you can do anything.
Microsoft Brew.
Here, I call this one Windows 95. I don't know, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
And if you got to get there quicker, try the new ISDN malt liquor.
When I found out I had atrial fibrillation, a serious but highly treatable heart condition, first thing I thought of was who would take care of my wife and children if anything were to happen to me. My doctor recommended Prevactin. I had a lot of questions, so I did some research. It turns out Prevactin is the #1 recommended drug for Crohn's disease. I think my doctor's trying to kill me and steal my wife.
Doctors. They'll stop at nothing to get your wife.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better, at nih.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
Yes, indeed. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. Here it is, August number 1 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome back to all of you lovely liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. 603-835-3226 is the call-in number. Should you wish to join me here live on this Tuesday, this quiet Tuesday morning. And it's getting warm out here already. I don't know what it's supposed to end up being like today, but it's already above 80, and it's not even noon. I guess we're heading up to 90 plus today. So I mean that's not bad. No, I'm not going to complain about it. Maybe I will cut out to the beach. And some of you out there, well, many of you out there who are listening, you're landlocked. All you have is river or lake beaches. You don't know what it's like to be able just to go to the ocean. It's a lot of fun. The salt air is a different scent, and it's supposed to be, taking a dip into the ocean is supposed to be good for your skin and your hair. So you have you end up, people with beautiful hair around here have. There's also this. Where did I see? I saw it on the show. If it was in Marshall's, then I guess it didn't do very well. But it had an original price tag of $39.95 on it. It was like this. It was this hairspray. You know what the hairspray was? It was just salt water. Yeah, it had a few other, like vitamin E or something in there too, but it was just basically salt water. It was The original on the can, it was originally $39.95, but I think it was in Marshalls, and they had it on. You could buy it for like $6 or $7, something stupid like that. So evidently, it didn't sell that well. I guess you can't trick people into buying everything, huh? Yeah, people are. I can make my own I can go to the ocean myself and get some seawater and spray it in my hair if it's supposed to be that good for my hair. Evidently. Anybody ever notice also all those wonderful cosmetics? What used to be the big thing? Everything had CoQ10 in it at one point in time. Soaps had it, and lotions had it, and makeups had it, and now none of them have. So it was a gimmick. It didn't work. Is that the whole? Is that why it doesn't exist anymore? This CoQ10 thing. We always find the human growth hormone thing. Guess it doesn't really keep people young as they claimed it would. So I guess I saved myself a whole bunch of money by not following all these wonderful fads. Baby boomers will buy just about if you promise them it'll keep them younger. And say, hey, this will help make the 60s your new 40s or 50s. They'll buy it. That's all. This is the Peter Pan syndrome began in the baby boomers, which is why it is so prevalent in millennials. Millennials don't want to grow up. They don't. They just don't. Just saying. We've got. I only got baby boomers to listen to this and listen to this program, and they're thinking, "Well, we grew up, Rod." Yeah, you grew up. You just don't want to grow old. That's the Peter Pan syndrome. You don't want to grow old. And the millennials, they not only do they not want to grow old, they just don't want to grow up. It's TV Land, I think, has a hit show. A woman who's 40 years old pretends to be like 20 something, 28 or something. She passes her, and everybody buys it. Okay. Good for her. But I'm not sure I don't think I'd be able to fit in being not that I could pass for a 28-year-old, but I don't think I'd be able to fit in. Being that much, trying to pretend to be that much, 14, 15 years younger than you actually are. I don't think I could fit in. I don't have anything in common with them. I would definitely stick out like a sore thumb. Any case. Speaking of sticking out like a sore thumb, well, I guess there could be other words used for this one. The world's first sex robot brothel is in talks to make revolutionary business global. Would this be legal? I mean, the whole sex for money thing, but it's not another human being. It's a robot. It's a doll. A life-size doll. Would that be legal here? Well, the world's first sex robot brothel where men's fantasies become reality notice it's men. It's not well. There doesn't seem to be any. I suppose there could be a market for male sex robots. I guess maybe not for women, but for gay men. I guess I don't know. In any case, the world's first sex robot brothel. This is from dailystar.co.uk. Where men's fantasies become reality, is in negotiations with interested investors to expand its business on a global scale. Okay. Yes, Lumidolls made headlines internationally after opening its first sex doll brothel in Barcelona. I did not know that there was a sex doll brothel in Barcelona. It offered lads the chance to romp with totally realistic silicone babes, hardly distinguishable from real women, for around $90 to $130 per session. Now, earlier this year, Lumidolls told Daily Star Online of its plans to open a sex robot brothel where lads can legally fulfill any fantasy in the UK. Its plans of expansion emerged after experts revealed how erotic cyborgs would one day revolutionize red light districts. Now, so now they're trying to make, use technology to put hookers out of business. The so-called world's oldest profession is in danger. Yes, all those so-called working women are about to be downsized. I know a lot of people are saying downsize. That's funny, Rod. Yeah, I get the double entendre. Yeah. It plans now. Lumidolls is attempting to blaze a trail for the sex doll prostitution industry on the world stage as the UK battles with its own child sex doll plague. What? Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, really? Did we actually go? Should that be illegal? So evidently there is a rise in the UK. There's a rise in pedophilias, buying sick toys on eBay and Amazon. So pedophiles have been caught trying to sneak childlike sex dolls into the country disguised as other items. I can't even believe that there are manufacturers who actually make these things. But so far in Britain, now there hasn't been any case so far. I looked, there hasn't been a case yet so far of this caliber in the United States. But so far, 7 people in the UK have been prosecuted for trying to import the lifelike silicone sex aids into Britain over the past 18 months. Border guards said that they have seized 123 dolls, which weigh around 55 pounds and can cost thousands of pounds, in little more than a year since March of 2016. Now, the sex aids, I love how they're calling them sex aids. These robot dolls are being called sex aids. The sex aids are being manufactured in China and Hong Kong, are being sold by traders on sites including Amazon and eBay, the National Crime Agency has said. And they look like little girls. Now, frankly, it's kind of disturbing at best. I brought this up not too long ago. I asked this very question. Well, what happens if we start making? I didn't know at the time that they were making these things. What happens if we turn these so-called sex aid fantasy dolls into children? Is it going to proliferate and embolden pedophiles? Would pedophiles be legally allowed to have them? Would we allow them to be imported or manufactured in this country or anywhere? Well, lo and behold, it looks like, China and Hong Kong is doing just that. Now, it wasn't that long ago we were just talking about that they were developing and experimenting these things, and we've gone from, in 6 months, we've gone from talking about them being in development to there actually being brothels in Europe made up of these things, as well as the UK fighting a new import crime, a new kind of sex trafficking, basically. This is good. I suppose if it's a robot and it's not an actual human being, it means that a lot of these people who are now sex slaves will be freed. I guess. I don't know. I'm at a loss with this one, folks. This is sick. In my book, this is sick. And I'm not just talking about the pedophilia dolls. That's over the top. Because it's bad enough if you have people who have this illness in their mind that think children are sexy and need to be little, playthings that you can sexually exploit. The problem is that you have somebody somewhere on this planet who thinks that it is quite okay to manufacture an actual doll or robot that looks like children, so adult men and women can play with them sexually. That is just beyond sick. Wow. That really is. Now, I don't know where this comes down to as far as the USA is concerned. United States, what are we going to do about this kind of thing? I hope we put the smackdown and lockdown on this. Well, I'm sure you're probably going to have some psychoanalyst, psychotherapist, psychologist, psychiatrist that says, you know what? In order to satiate these wonderful people who are pedophiles, to keep them from actually doing harm to real children, we should probably give them all a sex doll. And how much you want to bet you're going to have some liberal coming up thinking that the government should subsidize the purchase of those things? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
603-835-3226. Got a story here that I had yesterday that I thought would be kind of interesting. If you're wondering, if you haven't been feeling your best lately, get headaches or what have you, low energy LED light bulbs could be giving us all headaches because they flicker too much. So I didn't know that LED lights flickered, but evidently they do. Professor Arnold Wilkins, a professor of psychology at the University of Essex, said the flickering of the unpopular lights is stronger than traditional bulbs. Fluorescent lights, such as those in offices, dim by around 35% with every flicker. Okay, did not notice that either. Energy-saving light bulbs could be giving us all headaches as they flicker too much. LED light bulbs can bring on feelings of dizziness and pain within just 20 minutes of switching them on. Professor Arnold Wilkins, professor of psychology at the University of Essex, has said that the flickering of the unpopular lights is stronger than for traditional light bulbs, while fluorescent lights, such as those in offices, dim by around 35%. With each and every flicker, LED lights dim by 100%. It means they effectively turn off and on hundreds of times every second. I did not know this. I just learned something new. I learned something new this morning. So LEDs basically turn themselves on and off hundreds of times every second. This can cause headaches by disrupting movement control of the eyes, forcing the brain to work harder. Flickering LED bulbs could double the chance of suffering a headache, based on previous research. Now, I was a big fan of LEDs. I didn't know they flickered like that. I didn't know lights at all flickered. I mean, is that subconscious? That's doing it subconsciously then? Is that how they save energy? Because they flicker? They're not constantly on? I'm just wondering. I'm just asking. I'm sure that, over an extended period of time, is that how they save? Is that how they use such little energy? Is that they keep flickering on and off hundreds of times a second, thus reducing the amount of, because there is a residual glow just about every kind of bulb that we utilize today has even incandescence. When you turn it off, there is a residual glow that's there until it cools off and turns off. It completely turns off. So is that how these things work? Is that they utilize that residual glow? And so they're more computerized, I guess, with their computer chips, so it's more control. So it turns the electricity on and off to the bulb, but because we don't really notice it, I guess, consciously, because there's a residual glow there. But obviously, subconsciously, we pick it up because it bothers the hell out of us, I guess. Yeah. I still like LEDs. They don't use any electricity. I've never had a problem with them. All of my lamps that have bulbs, none of them have those compact fluorescent things. None of them have compact fluorescents anymore. They're all LEDs. You can't buy it's hard to buy incandescents today in the open market. You can still get them underground, quote unquote. But it's hard to get incandescent bulbs. But I guess for those people who are sensitive to such things, wouldn't that mean that people who have that are subject to seizures, wouldn't they be subject to seizures like this from these LED? I haven't heard of anybody suffering seizures from LED bulbs. From TVs. Yeah, certain programs on TVs, yes. Certain video games, yes. But just the lights themselves? Haven't heard of that. I guess we will have to, I'm sure at some point that the science the technology behind these light bulbs will get even better, and at some point someday we'll probably even replace LEDs. But notice that you can't go back to an incandescent because Congress has taken that right away from you. You can no longer legally buy most incandescent light bulbs on the legal open market. Is that kind of socialism or communism? Yeah, I think it is.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came, defeat the would-be dictators, and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Bring the rain.
Joe Arpaio is next up. 603-835-3226 is the number that you can call to join me here on the show. Sheriff Joe Arpaio is in a little bit of trouble, evidently. Yes, the former Sheriff Joe Arpaio was found guilty yesterday of criminal contempt. Yes, former Sheriff Joe Arpaio's own words were the linchpin in the case against him. His quotes cited more than 20 times in a federal judge's ruling that found him guilty of criminal contempt of court. In a verdict filed Monday morning, U.S. District Judge Susan Bolton said evidence demonstrated Arpaio's flagrant disregard for another federal judge's order that halted his signature immigration roundups. The sentencing phase will begin October 5th. Arpaio, who's 85 years old, faces up to 6 months in confinement, a sentence equivalent to that of a misdemeanor. Now, what has become customary in judgments against Arpaio, Bolton liberally inserted the lawman's public remarks, mostly issued through news releases and media clips, to support her opinion. A credible testimony shows that the defendant knew of the order and that the order meant what the order meant in regards to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office policy of detaining persons who did not have the state charges for turnover to ICE for civil immigration violations. So basically, a judge told the sheriff that he was not to continue to do what he was doing as far as upholding the law. So the former sheriff is now being sentenced, found guilty of actually upholding the law of the land by federal judges who are not upholding the law of the land, mainly the Constitution. Anybody else see a problem with this? Now, just for a second, I want people to just not even think about who's involved in the case. The names do not matter right now. What matters is that you have a civil servant, a sheriff, who has people that are known to be wanted by ICE, our immigration service, for various reasons. Mostly because they're here illegally and they're going to be probably deported, but for various reasons. Doesn't matter who the judge is, but you have a judge because some liberal mamby-pamby wannabes take this sheriff to court, and you have a federal judge who says to the sheriff of this county, well, you're not going to cooperate with the federal government anymore, which is illegal, by the way. He's supposed to be upholding the law. It'd be a dereliction of his duty if he did not uphold the law. And so now you have a judge who is actually telling the sheriff to break the law by not doing his job. And now you have another judge saying, well, you knew what you were doing, sheriff. So you should have followed the orders of the judge. As if the judge is the be-all, end-all. See, in this country, judges are not the end-all, be-all, final arbiter, final word of the law. They're not. It was never intended. Look at the Constitution. It was never intended to be that way. They were to interpret the laws based on the Constitution to make sure that they were constitutional. But if they were not constitutional, it didn't mean that that was the end of it. The legislature still had the opportunity to make the law constitutional or to go to the people and change the Constitution. So these judges don't get to have the last word. So frankly, this whole case, it has nothing to do with being railroaded. Yeah, the sheriff was railroaded. No doubt about it, but it has nothing to do with being railroaded. It has everything to do with ignoring an illegal court order. Court orders can be illegal, and you do not constitutionally have to follow an illegal order from anyone. Do you realize that? So if the judge says, well, we're going to confine you to your house, if I were a payer, I'd say, screw you. You show me in the Constitution where I effed up. And then when you do, and you prove that I failed the Constitution, then I'll agree to your house, your house arrest, because that's probably what he's going to get, house arrest. They're not going to throw him in jail. That'd be the worst thing that'd be the dumbest thing that they could possibly do. I this whole, when it comes to this illegal immigrant thing, there is a reason that we call them illegal, because they broke a law. And every time somebody, tells me, well, they didn't break any laws. Hold on. Yes, they did. They broke the law when they entered this country illegally. They did not go through their proper channels to get here. They're criminals. Plain as, if you are a criminal for not putting on your seatbelt, do you realize that a lot of people in this country get a bigger fine for not wearing their seatbelt than illegals get for crossing our border illegally? Think about that for a second. You're more of a criminal for not wearing your seatbelt in 59 states. I know that here in New Hampshire, if you're over 18, there is no mandatory seatbelt law. I think we're the only state in the union that has a non-mandatory. I don't know about Puerto Rico, but Puerto Rico's not a state yet. There's no mandatory seatbelt law. But in 49, did I say 59 states? Oh, geez, I'm sounding like Obama. But in 49 of the 50 states, you are a bigger criminal for not putting on your seatbelt than illegal immigrants are, according to the left. I mean, think about that for a second. Let that sink in. You don't put on your seatbelt, or the new thing is not seatbelt wearing. Now the new thing is texting and driving. Using your cell phone while driving. Oh my God, you are such a criminal if you do not do hands-free. Use your cell phone hands-free while you're driving. Here in my state, as unbelievable as it may sound, you're not allowed to really touch your phone at all while you're driving, even at a stoplight. You're not allowed to use it. It has to be everything has to be hands-free. And I think that the ticket fine is $125 for first. So if you're at a stop sign, and they've done this to people, they've goaded people to do this. You're at a stoplight. You're stopped, not moving. You pick up that cell phone and use it to take a picture of something, you will get a $125 ticket. That's how stupid the law is here in this state. That makes you a bigger criminal than coming here illegally. I just saying. A nation that is not willing to control its own borders is not a nation at all. And if you think that by letting these people in, because somehow they deserve it, that you're going to preserve your own culture, you're going to be pushed aside within a generation or two, and that's going to be the end of you. Because let's face it, these people who come across illegally now, they do not care about the American culture. They do not care about contributing. All they care about is taking and getting what they can get out of it. And when they destroyed us and made them just like the country that they fled, they will move on to the next country. They're already trying to move into Canada. Now Canadians are starting to feel it. Now they know what we were talking about, and they don't like it. Well, hey, you guys up north of the border, you elected that Trudeau chap, so you got, like we elected Obama, you elected Trudeau, so you're gonna have to live with it. Australia. The Australian Weather Bureau has been caught tampering with climate data numbers. Oh, yeah, they were caught, man. They were caught fudging the numbers. Oh, yeah. Australian scientists at the Bureau of Meteorology, or otherwise known as BOM, B-O-M, ordered a review of temperature recording instruments after the government agency was caught tampering with temperature logs in several locations. Again, this is stuff you just can't make up, folks. Cannot make this crap up. Agency officials admit that the problem with instrument recording low temperatures likely happened in several locations throughout Australia, but they refuse to admit to manipulating temperature readings. The bomb located missing logs in Goulburn and the Snow Mountains, both of which are in New South Wales. Meteorologist Lance Pidgeon, yes, his last name is actually Pidgeon, P-I-D-G-E-O-N, watched the 13-degree Fahrenheit Goulburn recording from July 2nd disappear from the Bureau's website. The temperature readings fluctuated briefly and then disappeared from the government's website. The temperature dropped to minus 13 degrees Fahrenheit, stayed there for some time, and then it changed to minus 10.4, or just 14 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it disappeared. Pidgeon said, adding that he notified scientist Jennifer Marohasy, M-A-R-O-H-A-S-Y, about the problem, who then brought the readings to the attention of the Bureau. The Bureau would later restore the original 13 degrees Fahrenheit reading after a brief question and answer session. So why are they doing that? Well, because if the temperatures are actually, if they're actually colder than they want them to be, that means there's no global warming. So they have to, quote unquote, adjust for anomalies in the temperature reading, so they can get the proper reading, and thus they can diagnose the problem as being man-made climate change or man-made global warming. It's the warmest it's ever been in New South Wales on Goulburn. The average temp was 10.4 degrees centigrade. You might think that a degree is not that big of a deal. From 13 to 4. It is. When you're trying to put together weather patterns and climatology climate patterns, a degree is a huge deal. Now, remember, they keep telling us that the planet's temperature by the year 2100 is going to be permanently raised by 1 to 2 degrees. Well, how do you get to 1 to 2 degrees planet-wide? You've got to start raising the temperatures in local areas like Goulburn, Australia. That's why it's a big deal, even 1 degree. These people are fudging numbers left and right all over the place. It's amazing that they're getting away with it as much as I don't. Let's just, it's very amazing that they're getting away with. We know this stuff, that they're fudging it. We know that they're fudging, faking numbers, changing numbers, readjusting numbers to fit their canon, if you will. And yet we know this, and nobody really does or says anything about it. Well, evidently in Australia they did. They changed it back to the original temperatures. Will that do any good? I doubt it. Wonder how much more they fudged.
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong, and any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hay right.
Learn in hand.
Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Evidently, Democrats are starting to win some special elections across the country, and they're making, the National Party is making it sound like it's the end of, because of the backlash against Trump. They will do and say anything to make what they believe to be true. But Democrats are winning special elections this year, just not the ones that most people are paying attention to, of course. The party is desperate for victory, so they're going to tout any that they can get. Democratic candidates are finding success in little-notice local state legislative races. They've won 4 seats previously under Republican control, and some of them in battleground districts that split evenly between Trump and Clinton. So those are, this is, out in the states, we're seeing an incredible overperformance at the state legislative level, said Jessica Post, the executive director of the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee. Just overperformance. They win a few seats. Big freaking hairy deal. By the way, in some of these contested local legislative seats across the country, Republicans won some of those competitive races as well. The point is on a national level, they're not winning. And actually, they're really not gaining any. They are. We're starting to win now. Do you realize that they are in a deficit? They're down nearly 1,500 seats across the country. I'm sorry, you're down 1,500, and you win back 4 or 5. Ooh, that's a trend. Not. Who the hell is going to think that that's a trend when you're down over 1,500 seats nationwide? Over 1,300, 1,500 seats, and you win back a handful, literally handful, 4 or 5 seats. That's not a trend. I wouldn't even call it an anomaly. It's just the natural order things. Nobody ever said that Democrats aren't winning anything. We're saying that they're not winning anything of significance every time they say that they're going to win it. Ossoff anybody? Or who was the jack off that was up in Rob Quist up in Montana, right? Wasn't he supposed to rack up a victory up there? No, he didn't do it. Didn't even come close. Ossoff, they tried to spin the Ossoff loss as a win. Well, he didn't lose by much, right? He didn't lose by as much as he could have or should have. He overperformed. I guess that's still losing, Instead of losing by 10 points, 20 points, you only lose by 10. That's overperforming. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. Can't make it up. Will people? I think people are just going to stay home if the Republicans don't get their asses in gear and get something accomplished. I don't really fear that they'll vote so much for Democrats. Is that they'll just stay home, which means that Democrats will begin to start to win. They won't increase their vote. They won't get more votes. They'll get the same amount of votes. The problem is that Republican voters will stay home. That is how the Democrats will win by Republicans staying home. And Republicans will stay home if they don't feel they have a better person to vote for, a better alternative than what they've been given. Which means these people you're going to have to start bouncing them in primaries. That's what it's going to come down to. Getting rid of them in the primary. Trump is, without previous, is a man without a party. Trump has always been a man without a party. And the idea that Trump tried to bring in the Republican Party by having a few prominent Republicans within his administration didn't work for him. So he's always been a man. So Politico is a little bit late to the party on this. This is a Politico piece stating that, without Priebus, he's a man without a party. He's always been a man without a party. Republicans never did like him. They still don't like him. They probably do they like him less because he bounced out Priebus? No, I wouldn't even say that a lot of people in the Republican Party actually like Priebus anyway. But he was kind of a wimpy, whiny little bastard as far as I was concerned. He was not a strong Republican, GOP leader. So I don't think it was such a loss. But look, you still have people like Jeff Sessions, who's a part of the administration. Well, we're out of time for today, but we'll be back here tomorrow. It's Wednesday, Hump Day. It also means it's Intel Report Day. And I'm sure Agent 0010 has got lots of good stuff. Until then, I'm out. Have a great Tuesday afternoon, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.